You're in the priority queue for the ambulance at the moment.
Can you tell me your date of birth?
In a medical emergency, every minute counts.
Well, an ambulance service really is that life or death situation for someone.
Okay, and why have you called for the ambulance today?
When someone is in an emergency, when their life is at threat, we're there for them. We're basically the person that they will call to help hopefully save their life.
Has this happened to you before?
Did your speech sound normal for you? It doesn't sound slurred at all?
And in Victoria, the women and men on the front line of saving lives are in fact saving more lives, thanks to a transformation at the state ambulance service, much of which is based on big data. Craig, can you tell me about the Optima technology?
Okay, so Ambulance Victoria uses Optima in two different ways. One, on the day of operations, it provides us with an understanding of what our current coverage for ambulances are in terms of our ability to respond to Code 1 cases within 15 minutes. The other application is that we can use it to forecast, and so we can use it to forecast where we want our units to be in advance, in other words, to construct our rosters, so that we know that we need this shift in this location at this time to set ourselves up best for the day of operation.
Can you give me an example of how this technology has improved your performance and service?
In two ways. We make sure that we've got paramedics in the right place for the day of operations. And secondly, as I've said, it helps us to understand on the day of operations where we need to move units around to get the best coverage.
There's a red circle.
That's because I've got Doreen, one of the cars that you highlighted, and that's where they're headed to. So they're off to Predictive.
It is part of a wider organisational transformation that has included increased resources into the business over the last couple of years. As a consequence, we have moved closer and closer to our performance target. That's 85% of all Code 1 cases within 15 minutes. We're currently travelling at about 84.2.
Response rates that are the highest ever for the business. CEO Tony Walker says these big data technologies are transforming Ambulance Victoria from a service that reacts and responds to one that predicts and prevents. You have an extraordinary amount of big data to monitor the population base, the well-being of Melbourne. I wonder whether, in fact, you couldn't detect almost a pulse of a city.
You can. For example, we know that mornings, particularly Monday mornings, there's a higher propensity for people that might be presenting with a heart attack or a stroke, that they've woken up with those symptoms and called an ambulance. We can see high incidence of motor vehicle accidents, particularly in the peak hour. Take it to, say, a Friday or Saturday night where we've got a lot of people milling around the city, maybe some alcohol involved. That changes the pattern of work we see. So you're absolutely right. There is a pulse to the city, and a predictable pulse to the city that allows us to use data to actually inform the services that we provide.
Ambulance Victoria is clearly ahead of its peers in terms of the service that it provides. What's the next big step for this service?
Well, for us, it's about how do we leverage off technology differently. So a good example, we've rolled out a new mobile phone app at the moment that enables members of the community to be alerted if they're nearby a cardiac arrest, so they can go there and start CPR and use a defibrillator. So it's harnessing the community in a different way. We're also looking at how do we connect our paramedics using new technology so that they're able to actually refer patients at the point of scene, bring in medical specialists to actually do a consultation at the scene with them. So it's leveraging off the changing technology to enable connecting our paramedics and the patients to the broader workforce, or the broader medical workforce, to get the best outcomes for them.
So, Craig, what is the next iteration of Optima? So does it speak to you, or what's the next thing that...
Well, from a starting point, you can see there that we've got Metro, we've rolled it out to rural, we're tuning it in the rural environment to make sure that we can optimise within the rural environment. The predictability, I think, component of it is the next thing that we want to develop further. So, I mean, some of this is based upon large data sets that probably don't pick up some of those very short-term spikes in demand that might be a bit unexpected, that might be weather-driven or other major incident-driven, and so tuning it to be able to predict those sorts of things would be helpful as well.
Having walked around your offices, there's clearly a great sense of camaraderie. Is it a great place to work?
I think it is. I think it's a great place to work. We've done a lot of transformation over the last few years to make AV better. We're very heavily focused on supporting our staff. It's a difficult job. And their mental health and wellbeing is paramount to us. But it is a great place to work. I mean, every day you're in this organisation making a difference to people's lives, be it someone who's called us with a fractured hip or saving someone's life in the community. Every single person here, whether you're delivering the service or supporting them you do, is fundamentally helping to contribute to making our community a safer place.